there's many different minhagim for this night. This type of seder and other seder, just like the seder in the night of Pesach, there's a lot of different ways of doing the seder. So here is a copy from Reb Chaim Palaji, and he has. I spoke about him recently many times. Since the summer, I visited his gravesite and his house.
Where is it?
In Izmir, in Turkey. So it's unbelievable how the Arabs take care of his house. It's unbelievable. They take care of his house. And yeah.
Was he great with the ball?
Yes, he wrote. He lived to write so many svarim. Unbelievable. Him and the Chidol, like an accountant who write more svarim. So here, look at what he on the Tehillim. It says. Before we go to the Tehillim, let's just read what he writes. Leil Chamisha Osa BiShvat. Roish Hashana Lilonis. No Guru Tfitzis Yisrael L'Sadar B'Shulchan Kol Peiras Ilon Peiras Oretz. The minig Yisrael is no. Adasher Tasik Yodoi, and whatever they can buy, fruits. Kol Echem Mevarach Al Pri Echad. Haish Mevarach Al Achita Acher Bichas Hamazon. The man, after, in other words, he wants to make a special separate bracha, so he makes a bracha on the chita. Aisha, Bar Priyadama. Yeah? If he eats a plain chita, it's Bar Priyadama. If he eats a cookie, it's mazonis. So that's for the ish. So the man makes a bracha on a chita because the remez of chita is chaylev chitim yazbiach. He should have mazonis berevach. Vayisha. Pashtus is because he wants to be able to make a special bracha rishona, bracha achrona. I don't know. I'm not sure why.
You don't have an adapter.
It's not a part of the meal.
Yeah, they made a separate thing after the Suda. They made a separate thing. The a separate thing after supper. And Hoisha makes the brocha la gefen. Kidiksiv eshtacha ke gefen poidia. Haben halazayis vanecha keshesile zeisim soavel shulchanecha. Okay, who else? Rimen veges the egois lebnoisav. The daughters, they get a rimen and the egis. Al Shem Kol Kvuda Bas Melach Pnima, because there's a lot of seeds and sai in the egg is in the rimoin, and they're hidden in the pnima. Okay. Devash v'tapuach l'tinoikis. The tinoikis is devash and tapuach. Al Shem tachas tapuach oirartich. So each one of the family gets something special. Dvash ulachol v'chol of tachas l'shenav komashikosov kol zeh v'chulu v'chulu. He brings vidayas. The ikar hu tezva peiris and biyudamu v'shilmud b'chol pri perik echad ma mishna pe ches prokem and bikurim gimul and rosh and dal protem and keneged bri yitzirasiyah v'gam shivor acharech esrik. I was going to bring an esek, by the way. Forgot, but we have to eat that. You can't make them the reach. No, the reach. Can you reach? No. And okay, that was it. And he says to bring another sefer the of time at Rabbi Laminik Zeh the Marm Vepedis B'Chamisha Osa BiShvat. Okay. So B'Kitzer Geret. So there is a special minig according to this, that the husband eats chita, the wife eats gefen, the sons eat zayis, and the daughters eat rimoin, and also an eggers, and the children eat the vash, which is dates, tomorrow. And there's a remez in each one. No, here is not mamish all the shivas a minute. It's not covered. You're missing. But that's the.
You have
Right. That they give the neighbor who's toina in mevaksha. So okay, the meforshim on this capital in Tehillim is Eshtach kegefen poiria biyarke se veisecha banecha kishesili zeisim zavel shulchanecha. So the Radak says that your wife is like a geffen, and there's a lot of symbolism in the wife as a geffen. The Gemara says isha shedomea merubim and bonea merubim. There's different, just the woman that has a good cycle, has a lot of children. The symbolism of geffen is piri v'riba, to multiply. That's the geffen, that's the wife. And what does the pasuk continue? Bonecha k'shesile zeisin. That's why the sons get zeisin. So he says the mile of zayis, says the Radak, is that's einam. The Mishnah says einam mekabel harkova. You can be marked many trees together, but zayis you can't be marked. And not only that, after the zayis gives the fruit, shemen zayis, all the mashkim you can mix. Shemen zayis you can put it with water, you can mix, but then they're going to separate. So in other words, that they won't mix with someone else.
Also, the children is like the zayit. When you eat it in the beginning, it's very
Bitter.
bitter.
When
When you squeeze it,
The Beinu B'chayis is a beautiful thing. Children is because the Gemara says over there in B'choydes Daf Ches that Zayis is Tisha Chadosha, and children it takes is Tisha Yarchei Leida. The Brochas, the Gemara says, I'm just giving you a list of things that I looked up. The Brochas is Haroya Geffen Ein Ishtei Mapelas, Haroya Geffen B'chaloim. So we see Geffen has to do with the wife. The Medrash that we learned this morning, the Medrash says that if you touch a woman that's not your wife, it's a chayiv nisa. The Gemara says, how do we learn that it's because we learn it from Nazir, just like a Nazir, and not only also by Yain, also by Novim or by Chartzanim. The same thing, Eishes Chaveiro is not only also to sleep with her, but also Nechibuk, V'nishuk, and Negia. Like we see that the wife is like a geffen. It's like a geffen. Like a geffen. Okay. So the Rebbe asks a shaila. Why Taka is very nice, but why is it that Dafka in the same? If you start the pasuk, there's a lot. You could say Eshtach kegefen paria, B'yarke say veisecha. By the way, B'yarke say veisecha. Before Shem says, Isha Tznuah sits in the house, Isha Ksheira. And you could say Bonecha k'shesile gefen. Why do we go over from gefen to zayis? There's many symbolism in gefen and many in zayis. Why does the pasuk is pasach begefen v'siyim bezayis? Why? Why is it dafka this thing? Moedidika thing that the Rebbe had. Why is it that he started with this and finished with the other one? Okay.
also when people get married, what do you say?
Right. Marriage is always the union of geffen. But children is also, children you can have, children is the union of geffen. Children is also the union of geffen. Why is it, children is geffen? Now we're still doing a Fabrengen, a Hemshech to 70 years of the Rebbe's Nesius. So one of the stories, the unbelievable story that was told by Rabbi Groner. He said the first year after the Rebbe accepted the leadership, so there was a telephone in the mosquitoes. The secretary got a telephone from someone in Brazil. She's a religious woman. She's in the hospital. There was another Jewish woman, not religious family. And she's a makshaleilut. She's having a very hard, there's a big problem. And at some point, the doctor said, it's not happening. The mother or the baby. It's not happening. The mother or the baby, that's it. So the husband went into an unbelievable panic. So this woman said, do you want, I'm going to call, there's a new Lubavitcher Rebbe in America, in New York. I'll call Lubavitcher Rebbe. So the husband said, you know what, don't be matriach. It's beseder. So we're taping it. So she called the mosquitoes And the Rebbe said that they should ask if they're keeping Taras HaMashpocha. So the husband said, his wife was not mesugel to talk anymore. She couldn't talk. She was more in the other world than in this world. And he didn't understand what's going on. So the Rebbe said they should tell him that he should accept upon himself that he's going to keep Taras HaMishpocha. So they said that they're asking which one should they save, the baby or the mother. The Rebbe said they should save both. They should save both. Rabbi Grona said that a few months later he had a call from a person, a South American accent. He wants a yechidus. He said he was the doctor that was treating this woman.
Oh, wow.
The mother recovered, the baby was born, no problem at all. After the Rebbe gave the bracha, Mamish was like unbelievable. And he wants to say, he said, he told over the story all over Brazil that Yesh Navi B'Yisrael, such a thing. And he wants to meet this person that gave this bracha. So back to the Rebbe's question, the Rebbe asks, why is it that Posach begefen, v'siyim bezeisen? Why is it that the Posach here starts with a gefen? You know, in the Posach it talks about the 5 fruits of Eretz Yisrael. So the truth is, even though the Pasuk says first Geffen, but in the Seder HaBrachos, Zayis goes before the Geffen. Why is it that the Pasuk goes this way? Here's the Rebbe talks, this is just Avodas Hashem. The lesson, the Rebbe's big thing in life was always that Torah is Maloshen Heirah. We have to take a Heirah. Every year we have to take a Heirah, what we take away from Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is Rosh Hashanah Lilonis and Odom Eitz Asoda. And the Torah says that a Talmud Chacham Ohogun is like a tree. What is the lesson we could take? The simple lesson is like this: that I'm sure many of you grew up. They had this mishagas in the 80s, especially. That this world, soon there won't be enough food to eat. Soon there won't be enough food to this world to eat because there's so many people. Soon the Pashut will not be enough resources, there won't be enough oxygen, there won't be enough food for the people in this world. So a woman says, a family says, what kind of mitzvah? They have a benu bas. They have a benu bas and a kind of mitzvah. So, but what do they need more than a benu bas? What is it your business? The Rebbeinu Shalom could provide for 3 billion people. He can't provide for another 1 billion people. The same Rebbeinu Shalom that created Shamayim v'Aretz can't provide. The Eibishter who said can't provide for another 1 billion people to eat and to drink and to oxygen to have. The Torah says that a Yid is to have as many children as possible. Mashiach will come. The biggest mile is the Gemara says that a woman, when she has a lot of children, is bedoima isha shadameh merubin baneh merubin. There's no cheshbon, machnash ken cheshbon. How are we gonna pay tuition? What's gezayin yeshiva? Daigenish. The Rebbeinu Shalom will take care of it. So the first thing is that the woman is connected to the union of gefen, which is the union of piri v'riba. The Yiddish family has a lot of children. But they're not worrying. Don't worry, the Eibishter will provide. What's with the children? The children, the very important thing is to raise children. Soviv l'shulchanecha. A Yiddish child has to grow up around the table with a chayis. The parents have to first nourish them. The foundation has to be with the taras hamishpocha, a Yiddish shtub. Then the food have to be very medayik, and the oichel umashke that the children eat, that it should be betachlis hakashrus, bishul Yisrael and pas Yisrael, and there should be the shchita should be kosher, and that affects the child, and also beruchnius, the information that's going into the child. There shouldn't be chas v'sholom sama movis. There shouldn't be poison. People say you send the kids to an institution. The schools, what's in the books? What are they getting fed? So the parents have to make sure that the children are being fed kosher. Then the zoichet to have nachas. What's the nachas of a child? The child is like a zayis. For a Jewish woman, a Jewish woman is at tznuah. To say chas v'shalom that she'll be mischaber with someone else, she's only mischaber to her husband. That's not my kamashmalon to say that a woman's like a zayis. But that the children, they shouldn't get mixed up with the goyim and the goyishkeit that are in the street. The children shouldn't get mixed up with the goyim and the goyishkeit in the street. We have to make sure that every Jewish child doesn't end up chas v'shalom zaveran oisid. I remember I was in Australia. I mentioned this the other day. There was a few times I heard Rabbi Lau talking to oilam, which are not Jewish, not leisat Hashem Torah mitzvahs, not keeping Torah mitzvahs. So Israeli crowd. It's funny because it's shaykhah something that happened last week. He says to the people, "Do you guys know Kirk Douglas?" The oilam is mislav. Kirk Douglas. Kirk Douglas. Wer was geht on? Atem akerim et Kirk Douglas? And the whole oilam says, yeah. He says, he is Ayid. His father and the mother is Ayid. But do you know Michael Douglas? They said, yeah. The Michael Douglas is a goy. And do you know why? Because his mother is a shiksa. His mother is a goy. That's why he's a goy. To me and you, this sounds like a letzonis. And it was like, you can cut the tension in the ear. Here you have secular Israelis, and you could see how it was like painful to them. There's this word in Russian, zhalke. Zhalke. It's like, wow, what a pity. What a shame. You're telling me Michael Douglas was just about like this. He could have been Jewish. Wow, Michael Douglas could have been Jewish. A shiksa ruined the whole thing. Who asked him to go marry a shiksa? If he married a good Jewish girl, Michael Douglas would have been Jewish. As I said, to me and you, it's a litzonas. But to this crowd, who this is their nisoyan, this was like, you could see people were taking it in. Wow. We have to make sure that every Yiddish child is like a zayis. A zayis, the truth is, a zayis is bitter. But it doesn't matter, even if a Yid is bitter. Every Yid is like just like Chazal says by the Rimon, that Mola Mitzvahs Keriman. We have to make sure that every Yid that is a yichur shel zayis doesn't mix chas v'shalom with the goy. And not only doesn't mix, it's like an oil. How do we make sure that the Yiddish child knows that? There is the big thing we learned in this BiShvat is that the Go'oin Yankov, we have to raise children that are proud to be a Yid. We have to raise a child. What does it mean to be proud to be a Yid? A Yiddish child has to grow up with the consciousness that all these goyim around, that the niflinu, that we are different. It's a different breed. 80 million goyim. Germans, Yimach Shemam, they killed Eden. Yeah. When it was over, they all slept by night good. They sleep. They schlaft good. And the 3 billion goyim around the globe couldn't even spare 2 bombs to take care of the rails leading up to Auschwitz. Mishlaft good. A Yid, when he does a little avla, if he steals a shavat pruta, he can't sleep by night. A Yid has an unbelievable conscience. You have a sugar. A Yid that does the wrong thing can't sleep. The Pasha goes crazy. Begashmias. A Yid that does the wrong thing, he can't live with himself. He steals a shavat pruta, he can't live with himself. I'm just thinking. We had here a chasana a week ago on Monday, and the chosna kala are both in the 70s, and they were shaking like a leaf, and they were so excited. And the Masad Kedushin is saying the bracha, Mekadosh Ami Yisrael Yedei Chuppah V'Kedushin. I'm thinking to myself, this is exactly the way Yidden got married also 3,400 years ago. Mamash Azoy, a Chuppah V'Kedushin. Harei Mekudeshes Li, V'Kedas Moshe V'Yisrael. What the goyim, that every goy that lives around here, how did his Zayda look like 3,400 years ago? Either they were cannibals, Pasha can guess a mention inflation. Kipshuta. And what does this goy look like today? What's a big thing for a goy? Hunting. Lately, if it's liberal, a few liberal Americans, whoa, hunting is not so cool. That was a totally a goyish azach. Ayid never went hunting. The Rebbeinu Shalom made a world. The Rebbeinu Shalom made animals. I should go maim an animal. What? I should be. If I need to eat, it's a different thing. The goyim was it's a dreit azo, you know. Then they're against shchita, but then they ban shchita, but they go hunting. You go into every place. There's trophies. Who asked you? Who asked you? A helpless animal who can't help itself. The truth is that this guy would go shoot another human being. He just doesn't want to sit in jail for 20 years. So he goes maims an animal, an helpless animal. So he has, and he could give it with one knack. So he's very, very big. So for these goyim, so we have to feel. What's the feeling? The feeling is that the goy is a big goy. The kids have to feel, we have to raise a family of children that feel v'niflinu. That when these people, like you guess, mention flesh, and these people were cannibals, or 100 years ago, when the whole world thought it was the coolest thing to go hunting, whoever thought that it wasn't ethically right to go hunting? Every Yiddish poshet and Yiddish shtetl was feh. Zaporetz, he goes hunting. Zaporetz, he goes hunting. He's callous. He doesn't care about human beings. He can hurt human beings. He hurts animals. There's a story about the Frierdiker Rebbe. This story is told about many Gedolei Yisrael in different settings, but I'll tell you a story now of the Frierdiker Rebbe. He said he was walking with his father, and they were learning a Tifa Inyan Chassidus. And as he was walking, he passed by a bush, and without paying attention, he pulled off a leaf, and he started between his fingers, like playing between his fingers. His father stopped and called him by his name. He said, Yosef Yitzchak. What is this? He said, what are you doing here? He says, how could you do such a thing? It's the Bria of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How could you do such a thing? Stamazoi, to pull off a leaf? We're not talking about a balchai. We're talking about a leaf off a tree. We're not talking about b'meizid. It was just that he was so fatifed in a thing that it was like inadvertently, because he was ba'amokah shel Torah, and still his father told him and called him by his name, and how you taught him to do such a thing. So a yid has to feel the niflidu. A yid has to feel proud. That's how we have to raise children. The Yalkut Shimoni, by the way, says this whole capital Tehillim is talking about Gedei Tzedek. It's talking about Gedei Tzedek. To say the mile of Gedei Tzedek, but it really goes to show the same nekuda. So the bottom line is that the Rebbe, that's why Ishtacha is kegefen. The mila of a Yiddish woman is that she mevater on her own comfort, and she raises a family with a lot of children. It's not easy to have children. Children is a very tough thing to raise, and she's mevater and has a big family. And the mile of a Jewish family is that there is soviv l'shulchan echad, that he makes a nice Shabbos table in a warm atmosphere, and this is the type of atmosphere kids never want to go away from. And at the table, git mitzvah and kosher essen into the mind and to the soul. And Amela, these children grow up k'shusil eisen. A yichur shel zayis is eina mekabel hakova, and also the oil never. This child knows he never mixes with a goy. Not only why is he not going to marry a goy? Because he feels v'niflinu. And same thing with our children, that we have to, because then the children go out in the world and they see a lot of goyishkeit. But if a child grow up v'niflinu, grow up very proud, that I care what a goy in France thinks about what's cool and what's not cool. I care what a goy in the Catskill Mountains thinks is cool or not cool. What he thinks is cool is not cool to me. That's the type of children that we have to raise. So l'chaim, Chamisha Osa BiShvat, that we should matzliach take, that we should have Yiddish family, should be eshtacha kegefen periya, and like the minhag that Reb Chaim Palaji brings, that the father eats a little chita, and the Eibusha should give that we should have plenty of chita, chel of chita, that we should bring home the matzah balls, and the mother should eat a little bit of geffen, that Shemim Atzliach, that the Yiddish women should have many, many babies and big Yiddish families, and the children should eat zaysim, that the taka, they should be proud Jewish children, and Memela, they should live in the flinu, and we should be zoichet taka with these children to go lekras Mashiach Tzidkenu.
Amen. Amen.
No, Absanigin. Yifrach biyom av tzadik v'rav shalom ad le'yoreya. Yifrach biyom av tzadik v'rav shalom ad le'yoreya. V'yeh biyom ad yom minor adav seyavarez levanav yechiyot seyeyeyim. V'yoy baba farli lachecho yifrach b'yom tzadik v'rev shalom ad le'yoreya. Yifrach b'yom tzadik v'rev shalom ad le'yoreya. V'yehed miyom ad yom omina nafse yoretz lefanav yechriyot zeyeyeh Hey Baba Fayelachecho Chaim de Broche.
The Elder is scaling.
Chaim. Yochanan, that matters a lot.
Not my taste.
No. We'll have a lot of time.
I saw a vodka the other day, Rabbi.
Huh?
It was called Putinka. And you know what it said on the bottom?
what?
On special order.
Alan, they have bourbon too.
Let's put
Not my taste.
Yeah, no,
I like the sweet stuff.
He had a vodka.
No.
I
I like the sweet stuff.
Putinka. On special order. Limited edition on special order. I couldn't believe it. You know what it was like on the top? It had a throttle. You would have if you want to make very little coffee. You can put it in the faucets.
For you.
We have a calendar.
L'chaim. Nu, de Zella bist du. Have the Zell? Shmulik, does the Zell?
You just said that the Geffen is showing a children, and I said that we're saying by Chassan and Inver Geffen being Geffen. Why don't we say Inver Zayt, Inver Zayt? If the Zayt is so good that the coaching it all. So
you're saying from your father?
Yeah, so he said that by Zayt is Eno market. But what? Besides, there's no cover. And Geffen also, there's no cover. Two things they don't know cover. Zayt and Geffen. But the Zayt, the one that in the top of the tree, this is the good Zayt. When you coach myself, then come out a good oil, the best oil, olive oil. The bottom of the Zayt is also good, but not so good. Mashenk in Geffen is the bottom one, the Eshkoras that going close to the earth, they are the best one. They say Chosim Nakala should always feel to be the close one to the earth, to be honor, not like a Zayt on top, because then it will be a war in the house.
Very nice from your father.
He said, even I give him that.
Very nice.
So anav and anav.
L'chaim,
Two different
l'chaim.
spellings.
Ahanim Zmira is L'chaim, l'chaim.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. There's a Yid, Rabbi Yisrael Feiner. He told a story about his father. His father was a Yossam. He ended up by the illustrious tzaddik of Belz and at the beginning of the war he was drafted to the Russian army for 7 years. 7 years. At the end, he escaped with a whole bunch of friends, and he ended up in Germany at DP camp, and the same DP camp a lot of Lubavitch Chassidim were in Poking in Germany. Like all our families, Wow, my father was born there. So he became friendly with them. So when he came to America, it was 1950, he came to 770. But they told him it was the Rebbe Rayatz already passed away. But they told him there was a new Rebbe. So he knocked on the door where the Rebbe's office was. The Rebbe said, "Come in." He said, "Where's the Rebbe?" So the Rebbe said that the Rebbe, my father-in-law, sort of like you can't speak to him right now. But I'm taking care of things right now. So he realized that. He said, I want to ask for a bracha. And he said, the Gemara says about Bichas Hedyet. We spoke this morning about the Kal Vachomer. Oh, we spoke Shabbos. He said Bichas Hedyet. So the Rebbe sometimes, if he didn't want to hear something, the Rebbe would say If he didn't hear the first time, he would say maybe 3 times. It was like if the Rebbe didn't hear it, he didn't hear it. So the Rebbe said, you have to be soymech of the Rebbeinu Shalom. In other words, asking for bracha. The Rebbe said, you have to be soymech of the Rebbeinu Shalom. So he says, why did I come here? In other words, if I don't believe in the Rebbeinu Shalom, I wouldn't be here. So the Rebbe said, you have Amunah in Tzadikim, in Rebbes, but you have to have Amunah in the Rebbeinu Shalom. You have to learn Shara B'tochen and Cheves Lavavos. So he was already like blown away. The Rebbe, he didn't speak one word to the Rebbe. How did the Rebbe know? He was by the Belzeruf, the preeminent Rebbe, and he's like gedreht dort in Moisem, it's like a Valger. So he grew up with an unbelievable Amunas Chachomim. But the Rebbe knew right away who he's talking to. So the Rebbe said, since the Rebbe already told him something sharp, the Rebbe said, even though B'derech Klal Chazal Ein Semchem Al Hanes, but sometimes as a jolt, as a startup, to start the engine, to help a Yid in his bitochen, so there is a inyan of a nes. So what can I do for you? This guy realized that this was his Eis Rotzen. He had a problem, a skin problem, an unbelievable skin problem. He described what it was, like a leprosy, sort of, a skin issue. And I don't know what it was something. And he went to doctors, it would help a little, come back, always came back. So he rolled up his sleeve and he showed the issue. So the Rebbe buzzes Rabbi Chadakov in. Rabbi Chadakov thinks that it's time to bounce this guy out. So the Rebbe said, no. He wants a schedule that he should come back. When should he come back? So the guy doesn't remember. It was Beis or Gimel Sivan. And this is in the winter. Okay. And the Rebbe tells him, remember to come. And if not, Rabbi Chadakov will call you to remind you to come. He comes. It was Beis or Gimel Sivan that year. And the Rebbe said, you know why I called you to come today? He said, no. He said, what did the Yidden do today? He said, the Yidden came to Har Sinai. The Yidden came, they started to make hachonas from Rosh Chodesh. And before Matan Torah, any Yid that had a moon was Mesarapa. Today they were Mesarapa. So we'll put you into the list for the people that will be Mesarapa. The Rebbe is putting into the... So the Rebbe said, tomorrow, when you wash Negelwasser, make sure that you don't dry your hands. Wash Negelwasser, but don't dry it. Nicht ausdrücken in the hand. Like I gave Urche, like we know, like that Arizal with Toivel the mikveh of Shabbos, he didn't dry himself. He didn't dry. The Rebbe said you should wash Negelwasser next morning and don't dry your hands. So he did that as he was told, and he said it was at Dvar Pella. His hands were entirely healed, and he lived till Tovshin Ayin Gimel. Passed away a couple of years ago, never came back. 60 years. For years and years, nothing helped, and that was healed as if Loi Noida, as if it ever had an issue, a skin issue. So, why am I telling this story? First of all, we said it's the Hemshech story of Shivim Shana, but what's the Gewalt of Shivim Shana? Because a Tomar grows after Shivim Shana. So what's the Gewalt that a Tomar grows after Shivim Shana? The Zoya says that a Tomar takes 70 years till a Tomar gives fruits. And the Gemara says Choruv, there's all Shaila, but the Zoya says it's a Tomar. So we spoke about the Shabbos, that what's because there is the Snei Lovon and as the Ilon. Rosh Hashanah Lilonas is not for Tvua, for Chita Soida really. Chita Soida is Ikri Ilon, but it's not really. Ilon is a Ilon. Rosh Hashanah Lilonas is not for Chita Soida, it's really for Ilonas. What's the difference between a soda and a pardes? The Gemara says that for wheat to grow, it's 52 days. It's not so much tircha. Not a lot of tircha goes in. But for a tree to grow, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable tircha to get a tree to grow. Unbelievable tircha. Ad kedei kach that a tomar to grow, it's 70 years. A lot of koiches goes in. But that's the lesson that we learn. That's the lesson. A Yid always has to constantly grow. A Yid can't say, oh, we're good, we're happy, it's a frieden. A Yid always has to grow. A Yid tzaddik atomar yifrach. A Yid always has to grow. And lefum tzayda agra. It's an interesting thing that the Alter Rebbe brings in Tanya, Perek Tezvod, that there is oved elokim asher lo yavodoi, and what's oved elokim? A person that does more than his teva regilus. And what's the example the Gemara gives? Showing a pirkei me'apomim and me'apomim va'achas. So why did that give that example? because obviously it has a special connection. There's a special connection. The biggest tircha that goes in is in a tree, and a tree is meramas talimud Torah, and tzaddik hatomer yifrach has a shaychus to the lulav. The lulav is doch keneged the yid that learns Torah, and dafke in this a yid has to put in. So by the Rebbe all the years, Rosh Hashanah Lilonis was a time to talk about Esof and limud Torah. That was a big theme. Einem in the Welt toch limud Torah. Einem in the Welt. Why? Because Talmud Chochem Hagun is a Elon. A Talmud Chochem Hagun is a Elon. And now is Rosh Hashanah Lilonis. And with what is a Yida Elon is through learning Torah. And the truth is, if you think about this, the biggest Elon, the most important Elon, is a Tamar, and a Tamar is a Lulav, and a Lulav is the Inyan from Torah. So every year the Rebbe would talk about the Inyan of Limud Torah, they should, the Isof and Limud Torah. So I would suggest that we should think about being machazik ourselves. The Rebbe had a big thing in learning Chumash Tehillim Tanya every day. That was a takana from his father-in-law, to learn the Parsha Chumash and Rashi, and to learn the Seder Tehillim. It's an old minhag. It's not a minhag from yesterday. Friedrich Rebbe didn't start this minhag. It's an old minhag to say Tehillim. He was machazik this minhag that was there. The Chumash Tehillim Tanya every day. So l'chaim, that we should grow. We should grow, and we should grow Yogata Matzos Atamim and the Fupzai the Agra, and the Eibishal Helfen Take, that we should see Tadek Atoma Yifrach after 70 years, that the Rebbe was saying the Maima Bosti Legani. We should see finally the fruits. And what is the fruits from a Te'ena that you wait 70 years? Is Devash. What's Devash? Devash V'cholav Tachas L'shoinech Pnimius HaTorah. So we should be zoiched after 70 years of learning this Maima Bosi Lagani. We should finally be Bosi Lagani. That we should see that this world is Gani, Gnuni, Lamokim Shayik Betchila, Ikishchina Betachtoinim. That this world should be Atira Betachtoinim. We should build the Beis Hamikdash speedily nowadays. Amen. Ey Masai Kosimar Leshaya Futsa Chutza Ey Masai Kosimar Leshaya Futsa Chutza Masai Kosimar Masai Kosimar. Hey, lech sheyavutzu. Ay, la la la, la 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 Masai Kosimar Lech Sheyavutzu. L'chaim.